What's up, guys? Today we're going to be checking out some brand new gameplay from Cyberpunk 2077. Hot off the presses here. It's, man, I don't know. Every time we get a new trailer, any sort of new gameplay or anything like that, I get even more excited about this game. Easily one of the most anticipated titles of this year. It's only a few more months until November. But anyway, so this is coming from their second Night City Wire update live stream thing that they did a couple days ago. I am a little bit late, so I'm sorry about that. I honestly missed it. I didn't know what happened. So I'm excited to check it out and react to it here with you guys. Apparently they're covering a couple of different things. So one are life paths. Apparently you can choose different backgrounds that your character comes from. Obviously that's going to affect them, who they are, what they become, that sort of thing. And then they're also going to be going in depth on some very creative weaponry. So I'm excited to check that out. Without further ado, let's get into it. Lifepaths. Nomad, Street Kid, or Corpo?
Well, who do we have here?
Grew up in Haywood. Whole street was my family. Neighbors helped each other out. Thought nothing of it.
I'm pleased to see you have not forgotten your roots.
Born here, live here, die here.
Raised in the
Childhood
streets.
memories. Hopping buildings, running away from badges. Iron tasted blood from a split lip.
Motherfucker!
Got everybody fighting for a slice of the street.
Get the fuck out of Vista.
If you keep getting jumped, you find some stronger choosers.
Do you want to spend the rest of your days blasting scabs? Or become a legend overnight?
We have arrived. The Major.
Ready to get your cherry bobbed? Yeah, come on!
Okay, so that looks like a pretty solid background. Let's check out the Nomads.
Childhood.
Gonna be from the desert.
Racing my bobber for the first time through the hills. Oh, and first kiss in the middle of a synth cornfield.
We nomads choose who to make our family. A choice forges strong bonds and a higher duty that stands solid as an old oak.
My family's in pieces. That's why I'm headed for Night City.
Makes you an outcast among outcasts.
Miss this, you know? Camaraderie.
I know. I saw it in your heart the first time we met.
So you can be a country
You know what I
boy.
always liked about nomads? Your taste, no, hunger for freedom. Not easy to come by in Night City. Corp's got their grubby claws and everything.
And Corpos.
I have those reports you asked for.
They were supposed to be ready yesterday.
The world's going to tear us apart when the word gets around.
The world's never going to find out.
If I go down, you're going down with me. No, I'm not fucking joking.
This isn't a request, V.
But no way you're fucked, right? You're the one who fixes other people's shit.
If you work in Arasaka counter intel, you're always fucked.
This dude's gotta lay off the pills.
They got you to zero somebody. Tomorrow, they'll get somebody else to zero you.
What's the rules, Jack? Want to be top? Gotta have some skin in the game.
Yeah, but you're not on top. Saburo Arasaka is. And you're the pendejo who keeps him there. Work for yourself, live for yourself. That's the only way.
Who are you? Who do you want to be? That's tough. So you basically got like thugs from the hood. You got country boys, or you got city folk high up, you know.
Philip, it is so good to see you again. It's actually been a while since I've had a chance to interview you about Cyberpunk.
They're gonna go deeper into it
Today,
here.
we'll start with a question that everybody wants to know. How does the path you pick affect your time in Night City?
It actually affects your time quite a lot throughout the whole game, but let's start at the beginning, because basically our game has 3 different starts depending on your life path. As an example, if you choose the Street Kid life path, you have lived most of your time in Night City. you know the streets, you know the gangs, you know the slang, you kind of know what's going on in the, let's say, lower life aspects of the city, which can of course give you lots of good opportunities also later on in the game.
Good
But if you
resources,
start
good
as
connections.
a nomad, you actually used to be part of a nomad clan and a nomad family, because nomads that roam the deserts around Night City that we call the Badlands actually value their family above anything. But for one reason or another, you actually left that family behind, and now the beginning of the game for you will actually be how to get into Night City and how to make a new life there. Then you can also choose to actually be a corpo and choose the corporate life path. And that basically means that you're not at home in the streets of Night City or in the deserts of the Badlands, but actually inside a boardroom, because you rose the corporate ladder of the Arasaka Corporation, which basically gives you the ability to sometimes, read between the lines, read people when they're trying to do business, which of course can give you many nice opportunities later on.
That sounds pretty
so
good.
This isn't just about the start of the game. Can you maybe help people understand how this translates into the gameplay?
I feel like Street Kid's my favorite,
though.
though.
The thing is, we make Cyberpunk a real RPG, and part of that is that you can play your character from the start to the end. And of course, we have these life paths affecting the beginning of the game, but we wanted to make it so you have your life path opportunities throughout the whole game until the game is over. And as an example, we do that by giving you additional options in dialogues. So I can give you one specific example. And this is a mission where you have to steal a flathead robot from the Maelstrom gang. Basically, those Maelstromers stole that flathead before from a corporate transport. And the owner of that corporate transport, Meredith Stout, wants you to do something else. And this is an optional objective. And even within that objective, we want to give you some options. So as an example, if you have a corporate life path, you basically know what Meredith Stout is really about. You can read between the lines, and you can get some additional options that maybe actually later enable you to do a completely different thing with the Maelstrom gang.
Nice.
And if you're a nomad, you know exactly some more details about how these Maelstromers would have even been able to steal a robot like that from Meredith Stout, who's part of the very powerful Militech Corporation. As a Street Kid, we, as an example, don't give you a specific new dialogue option in that dialogue, because as a Street Kid, you do not have a lot of experience dealing with higher-up people like Meredith Stout. But we want to give you additional options that fit your life path very well. So later, when you actually talk to the Maelstrom gang, one member of the gang offers you some illegal substance, but as a Street Kid, you actually know what this is about. You can talk some shop with him, and that might actually make that character like you a little bit more.
So it's all going to be balanced. It's not going to be major
extra
changes.
Questions for you based on the video we just saw, and the first is about nomads. So the nomad life path, this starts in a place called the Badlands.
God, it looks so beautiful.
Is this somewhere you get to visit even if you don't pick nomad to start with?
Yes, absolutely. So the thing is, Night City is surrounded by this huge landscape that we call the Badlands, and you can go there whenever you want. So as an example, if you actually do play the nomad life path at the start and you are in the Badlands, you can even see Night City on the horizon. And we want to give you the option later in the game, if you want, you can just take your car and drive out of the city. You can go there whenever you want. Thing is, you might not want to, because the Badlands can be a pretty dangerous place at first, because time has not been very kind to the Badlands. There have been many wars in the past. There's global warming. So most people that do live out there don't really have another choice about it, or are nomads that love this life and are all about it and are very battle-hardened. We, of course, also want to tell their stories, because we want to tell many, many different stories throughout the cyberpunk genre, which means that you will also find missions that lead you out in the Badlands or where you deal with the people living there.
So Philip, can you tell us a little bit more about the character, Padre? He's the guy we see giving his business card to Street Kid V in the video. Who is this man?
Yeah, so Padre is actually one of the fixers in Night City. And fixers are people that work as intermediaries. So if someone who has a lot of money needs a problem solved, they go to a fixer.
And the fixer hits up
people who can solve that problem.
Street Kids.
And these people are people like you, V, cyberpunks. Fixers are very territorial. So Padre specifically works from Haywood, which is where you as a Street Kid grew up in, so you already know him. You might have already seen another one of our fixers, who is called Dexter Deshawn, and he works in a different part of the city.
Old Dex, dude.
So specifically Padre,
cool.
you might know him as a Street Kid, but even if you played other Lifepaths, you might sooner or later meet him because he's operating in Haywood, which is a pretty big place with many good jobs. So if you want to make some cash there, you will sooner or later deal with Padre.
So that's pretty dope. This is my first time hearing about this. You know, it sounds like it's not gonna have too big of an effect on the game overall. I mean, obviously having 3 different beginnings is pretty dope, and I would imagine they're probably gonna have multiple endings. I'm not sure if those endings will be affected by whatever path you choose or just like how the game plays out. But, you know, small dialogue changes, small pros and cons here and there. You know, I don't know. It sounds interesting. It's definitely going to add a little bit of variation to it there, but it's not like one is going to be significantly better than the others. I think I kind of like the idea of being a street kid here. I like the idea of being like in with the gangs and knowing the lingo and knowing people and having those underground connections. I feel like that would be pretty useful. Corpo actually sounds pretty good as well, and it sounded like you might be able to read people better and do business transactions better, so you might be able to get items for cheaper. Nomad's probably my least favorite of the 3. I could see how that could be really beneficial, and especially like if you're known in those parts outside of the city, when you have to go out there, you're gonna have a ton of friends and allies and stuff like that. But I don't know, it doesn't sound quite as exciting to me, you know, camping out in the desert versus being a street kid or something. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know which one we should do in the playthrough here on the channel. But now let's get into it. We have some new in-depth discussion and gameplay about the weapons in the game, specifically the fun, creative, different weapons, tools of destruction.
Hey V, I have a job for you. A client of mine is making an arms deal. He needs protection. It could get hot, very hot. The gun dealers are Maelstrom. Alas, nothing ever transpires as planned with them. You better gear up for this.
The game is just so beautiful. So you've got different scopes. You can customize your scopes, customize stocks, magazines, everything. What is that? Oh! Power weapons, tech weapons, cyberware, the Carnage pump action shotgun. Oh, goodness, dude. Smart weapons, melee weapons. Look at the skins on them too, dude. What is that? He was bouncing bullets off the wall. If he's anywhere in that box, the bullet's just gonna find your enemy? A thermal katana, dude, shut up. You can get mantis blades on your arms. Gorilla arms? Projectile launch systems? Pull some Iron Man here?
So V, are you willing?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in.
I will take that job. Okay, the devs are gonna come on. We're gonna talk about it more in depth, but that was insanity.
Carol, thank you so much for joining me. Now, there was an awful lot in that video, right? Because it's more than just guns.
Absolutely. We have melee weapons, we have ranged weapons, we have cyberware, we have offensive cyberware, defensive cyberware, armor. We could talk for hours and hours about this stuff.
I think just for today's episode, we should keep it simple and let's just talk about guns. Can you tell us the different types of guns that will be in the game?
So we have 3 distinct types of guns in our game. We have power weapons, we have tech weapons, and we have smart weapons. Now, power weapons are the most similar to contemporary weapons. One thing they can do, which normal weapons cannot, is ricochet bullets off of surfaces. So you can hit somebody hiding behind cover or hiding behind a wall. Now, tech weapons, on the other hand, use electromagnetic power to propel a fully metal projectile to extreme velocities. What that allows them to do is to punch through cover or punch through walls to hit somebody who's not even aware that you're there. Smart weapons use guided missile technology to actually track targets in real time. So you can hit somebody who's dodging, running away from you, or you can hit somebody who's hiding behind cover.
So Pavel, Cyberpunk doesn't just contain FPS elements, right? It's also a fully fledged RPG. So can you tell us how you guys approached introducing those RPG elements into gunplay?
So I can tell you one thing, Holly, it wasn't easy to merge those two elements together. Now, we've spent a considerable amount of time merging the RPG and FPP side of our game. What the player will experience is that V changes from a small-time mercenary to a legend in the world of Night City. V becomes more and more proficient in using weapons as the game progresses. So they will see that reload times become shorter, the accuracy of your weapons grows, you will have faster aiming time, you will move faster with your weapons. Everything becomes more in your control, and that gives you more opportunities to defeat the biggest encounters that we've designed for you.
So I have prepared a few extra questions for you, Pavel, if you're feeling up to it.
Of course.
Okay, well the first is going to be, how do you find more weapons in Night City? Like, where will players be looking for them?
It's a good question.
So I expect the players to look everywhere for new and exciting weapons. You can, of course, buy weapons at vendor shops, and they will house an entire catalog of weaponry that you can get. However, the best weapons that you can find will be taken from enemies or loot caches that we have everywhere in Night City.
Sweet, dude. So you gotta go exploring.
The range from common through uncommon up to rare and then legendary. And as they go in rarity, they actually climb in power. However, legendary weapons are very specific in such a way that they possess unique abilities that you will find on no other weapons in the game.
That is so insane.
The players will actually need to make some tough choices to find some legendary weapons, because maybe they need to choose whether to kill a person who holds the legendary weapons that they want, or to spare them because they like them as a character.
So next question, let's talk about weapon modifications. What mods can people give to their weapons in Night City?
I'm killing everyone taking their weapons.
Two types of modifications in the game. One of them would be modifications that we call attachments. So these would be scopes and silencers, and you can see them actually being attached to your weapon as you're playing the game. They give you statistics advantage, and they give you more opportunities in gameplay. The other part of mods would be software mods. Now, these are basically small chips that you install in your weapon, and they actually change the statistics of the gun.
What?
They can give you damage, they can give you accuracy, or they can give you more fire rate. Some of those mods actually change the gunplay on a more fundamental level, so they can give you non-lethal rounds, biochemical rounds, to tear through that armor even faster.
So I suppose for my final question, why don't you tell us about your favorite weapon then? Which is your favorite weapon so far in Night City?
Oh, there are so many weapons that it's hard to choose just one. But I can mention some manufacturers with their weapons that I absolutely adore. The first manufacturer would be Tsunami Defense Systems, who produces the sniper rifle Nekomata. That's a tech sniper rifle. That means that it can pierce through walls. So you can actually hit somebody who's hiding behind cover or who doesn't even know you're there. Of course, I also like a close quarters approach. And what that needs is a shotgun. One of the shotguns that we have in the game is Budget Arms Carnage. Now, that thing is cast from pure steel, and it weighs a ton. However, you can cut a person clean in half with it. Another shotgun that I absolutely love, it's for a more refined approach, I would say, is a smart shotgun, Kangtao Zhuo. That thing has 8 barrels, and that means you can track 8 targets independently. Now, killing an entire room was never simpler.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining me.
Killing an entire room was never simpler.
I'm actually pretty interested to see what kind of weapons people discover when they play Cyberpunk for themselves.
Dude, that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. So you're gonna be able to buy weapons, but you're also, like, for some of the better ones, you're gonna have to go out there and scout the world, kill them and take them off of enemies or potentially friends, and just get out there and explore, which is going to be pretty exciting. I can see some fun content around that, like hunting legendary weapons. So there you guys have it. Some new gameplay here. Definitely want to make sure we stay on top of this. Like I said, dude, just so excited for this game. November is only a few months away. I'm sure we're gonna have a few more Night City Wire updates, and we're gonna play the heck out of this game, dude. I'm really excited for it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What are you gonna be? Street Kid, Corpo, or an outlaw, outcast? No, nomad. Street Kid, Corpo, or nomad? Which are you gonna end up going with? I'll see you guys in our next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.